Alright, welcome, late night stream. Be doing the new Final Fantasy patch tonight. Don't know how much. Started a bit late since I was tired from work, but I did feel a bit better after sitting down for a bit. So we'll do a little bit in and see how it goes. Where am I at? Eight's footsteps. Where are we going? Back to solution 9. Oh, they have a short travel point. Cryle and Graha, what's up? Cryle has a wistful glint in her eyes. I trust you were able to get plenty of rest? Good. I thought we might make a moment to ponder our next steps, or perhaps reflect on our recent journey. I must admit, my thoughts often drift to the Mist Continent and our stay in Torino. I was heartening to see Malaa prosper despite the odds, and my own flesh and blood strive in that Levin-racked landscape. Sphene was eager to restore diplomatic relations, and I have no doubt that Alexandria will prove much-needed support for their neighbor. I too shall do everything I can to aid my home away from home, my wonderful welcoming family included. For the time being, though, I'd say we've accomplished all within our power. Suppose that just leaves a matter of preservation's research. It is yet unclear how Calyx learned the techniques he used to summon his dark primal, and there is likewise much that remains unknown about the key. Let us hope that Shale's efforts bear more fruit. Three-way call. Can you hear me? It's Y'shtola. Shale and I have been reviewing the encrypted files and uncovered some intriguing details. Would you care to join us? We'll be with you right away. Excellent. Shale seems eager to speak with you all. Come and find us in the Detru lab when you're ready. Uncanny timing indeed. Almost as if it was planned. Let us make for the containment complex. What is going on back there? What? We walk away and then just don't walk with them. Alright. Heading for the containment complex right this way. Proceed. Oh, I haven't done Final Fantasy in a bit, so I forgot about this. Need to... Ooh, not that. That one. This, over here. Flip. There we go. Just so I can block some of chat. The manufacturing room. Y'shtola. Given all the data that is stored within Electrope devices, Shell's expertise has proven invaluable.
Ah, you're just in time for a progress report. The decryption is finally complete. As we suspected, the data represents a partial record of Preservation's research documents. A quick scan of the files, however, failed to turn up the information Y'shtola was after.
Indeed. No mention of the Ascians, or primal summoning techniques for that matter. While Calyx doubtless received instruction from someone possessed of such knowledge, there was naught to identify this benevolent mentor. I am, however, pleased to say that we found several reports concerning the key.
We know the key is used to open paths between worlds, and was a treasured relic of the Milala. And just as the Milala were unable to return after reaching the Mist Continent, so too was Preservation unable to gain a mastery of the prize which had passed into their possession. The data suggests that a particular formula or procedure is required. A process which Calyx appears to have understood to some degree. Yet the key proved fickle. Perfectly replicating conditions was no guarantee of success. And even when they did manage to generate a modest portal, the destination was never the one they expected. Reports practically screamed their frustration, describing the experience as being dragged around by a traveler picking roads without rhyme or reason. Serves them right, I say.
After much trial and error, Preservation began to experiment with external actuation devices for the key. Striving to maintain a stable pathway to a chosen location, they conceived of the technology that forms the gate to the Golden City.
So, their tribulations ultimately afforded them control of the key, albeit in a limited capacity. Which, of course, explains why they were able to instruct Zoraal in its use. Thus enabling the unprecedented feat of transferring Everkeep and its environs to the Source. After the Endless Fiend took the key unto herself, she opened pathways to other reflections in her hunt for Ether, did she not?
The Milala merely used it to facilitate their exodus. To think what the key has now wrought in different hands.
For all we know, the actuation device augmented the key's power beyond its intended scope. Were your goal to plunder whole worlds of their ether, a tool designed to simply transfer people would likely be insufficient.
Shale, I don't suppose you would be able to remove the actuation device?
The machine made for that very purpose is still functional, thankfully. It shouldn't be a problem.
What do you think? We don't even know how the key works. If the device is somehow interfering or amplifying its capabilities, I believe we ought to remove it.
Hey Tommy, yeah, this is the new patch.
Give me a moment.
My word.
Y'shtola?
This is the first time I've beheld the key in all its unobscured glory. The sheer density is extraordinary. 'Tis akin to the structures we saw beneath the Tempest.
Now that you mention it, the ornamentation is reminiscent of Amarot.
Have you noticed anything since the key has been in your possession?
I don't know if we saw the glowing symbol from our angle. Yes, reminds me of Azim's crystal.
You're suggesting the key has some connection with Azim? A plausible theory, although one we are yet unequipped to prove.
My apologies. Hello? Yes, this is Cryo speaking. That was Ojika with a message for us.
An urgent matter?
I'm not altogether sure. Tataru requires our counsel, and hoped to call upon us in person at the Baldessian Annex. Though disappointed we were not present, she appeared content to wait until our travels brought us back to Sharlayan, insisting that it did not merit our immediate summons. Her tone suggested otherwise, however, and Ojika felt compelled to contact us directly.
Yeah, it has been chaos to watch.
Mayhap the time has come for another journey across the salt.
Well, you all can journey across the salt. I can just teleport across the salt.
You'd best go. Though I'll not deny that I'll be sad to see you leave.
No, in our luck, we'll be back here from this very problem we're going to deal with.
Oh, Shale. I can't even begin to thank you for all you've done. We will be forever indebted to you and your Oblivion colleagues.
The debt is ours. We'll never forget the sacrifices you've made for us, for Alexandria. In the meantime, I shall keep sifting through the data. You'll hear as soon as I find anything of note.
Actually, I should like to stay here a little longer, if you don't mind.
You are most welcome.
And might I borrow the key for a while? I wish to study it further. With the utmost care, I assure you.
Oh, don't tell me Estrella is the one that triggers it. With her curiosity. I'd say curiosity killed the cat, but that might be a bit much.
Well then, shall we be off? Ojika will be expecting us.
Trail to the heavens. Alright. Yeah, I tried to read the non-audio cutscenes when I can. Where am I going? Actually, map. More than empty. Teleport. Back on the island of books. Oh dear, it occurs to me I neglected to bring gifts from Toriel. Considering the extra work they've had to handle my absence, I just really owe them a variable amounts of snacks at the very least. I thought it'd be best to hear about Jagasta's say area meet with Totaro. I do hope she is well. Welcome back, and what a pleasure it is to see you too, Azane. I need to remember to pronounce my own name. Azane. Thank you for contacting us, Ojika. We came as soon as we could. Of course, I felt it prudent given how troubled Totaro was. Your concern is much appreciated. As it so happens, we've reached a convenient junction in our investigation. Shale and Y'shtola will have matters well in hand, leaving us free to make this trip. That's a relief to hear. Now let me fetch Totaro for you. Why don't you take a moment to relax in the main hall? I'm sure you're all still fatigued from your journey. Oh, you're watching this from your phone? Yeah, that'd definitely be tiny to read. Dipper is on, but it looks like she's probably just doing her own thing. Probably to get caught up for the story.
Planning your next journey?
Oh no, just reminiscing. Thinking back to when you bought this map, and how you all encouraged me to make the voyage to Tural.
Are you glad you did?
As if you need ask.
Welcome back.
Wonderful to see you again, Tataru.
I'm so glad you're here.
Ojika contacted us. He intimated that you were rather concerned. Come to think of it, Alphino said he and Alize would pay you a visit upon their return. Have you not seen them?
Oh no, they were here. I was regaled with many a tale of your Turali adventures. It was only once they departed for Garlemord that the rumors came to my attention. Rather alarmingly, void-sent sightings seem to be on the rise across the star. I was reluctant to bother you with mere hearsay, especially when you had more pressing matters to contend with. But earlier I received a confidential report from the Grand Company of Eorzea. It's as if a mighty dam has been breached, flooding the land with foul creatures. For a blessing, most nations have managed to keep the invaders in check, and casualties appear to be minimal thus far. Though the same cannot be said for those regions with a deeper connection to the Void. Their fissures continue to manifest without end, putting countless innocents in danger.
A deeper connection to the Void. Garlemald is the home of the Reapers, is it not?
It is. Alphino and Alize were there when the trouble began, and have since sent word that the situation has taken a dreadful turn.
Short while earlier in Turatum.
Thus concludes the abridged account of our time in Tural. Now I shall leave you with the words of the late Dawn Servant, Galul Jajar. Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship. A notion that rings true for Eorzeans no less than it does for the diverse peoples of Tuliyollal.
And for Garleans as well. Even sharing something as simple as a local dish can pave avenues of understanding. It's up to all of us to forge new bonds, together.
Where are the leaders at? At least some of the politicians should be in that group.
Thank you for sharing your tale. Better they hear it firsthand than endure my clumsy retelling. Your words give me hope that we might achieve something similar here in Garlemald.
We all have the capacity to affect change. Our time in Tural taught us that much. And now that we've returned, it's time we rolled up our sleeves and got back to work.
I've already sent missives to the other nations, informing them of our Alexandrian friends. I also intend to notify the Garlean community officially. If both sides are amenable to the proposition, we shall gladly assist in establishing diplomatic relations with Alexandria and Tuliolol.
Thank you.
Can see in his expression, overworked kids.
But are you sure you've recovered from your journey? It sounded like you've hardly had time to catch your breath.
Sir! Lapis Manalis is overrun with Voidsent. We've sustained heavy civilian casualties.
What?
Clutium Squadron reporting in. We're under attack. Voidsent appeared out of nowhere and ambushed us during a routine inspection. Damn it. Is that another fissure? Oh, no, no, no! Ah!
My comrades are under attack. We have to do something.
There's no time to lose! Come on!
The Garlean community is ill-equipped to defend themselves against such a threat. Even with the aid of the twins and the Ilzabard contingent, they face daunting odds.
We shall leave for Garlemald immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah, after all the trouble we went to save that nation, the last thing we need is for it to fall apart on us.
I was able to contact Thancred and Urianger too. They're already on their way. With any luck, you'll be able to rendezvous with them on arrival.
Vacation's over. And since we are dealing with Voidsent, it's only fitting I go as a Reaper. I like how my scythe looks more like a giant axe. I've been told Alphino and Alize have withdrawn to Tarentum to request aid on the front lines. They seemed intent on rejoining battle once reinforcements were ready. But I shall tell them to wait for your arrival. G'raha wears a pensive expression. Just like that, we found ourselves faced with another emergency. Fortunately, there is yet time for us to make a difference. Let us make haste to Tarentum. Oh, you haven't messed with your UI much? This command panel was added in a patch or two ago, and this is a nice thing is you can throw in a bunch of the features in here. It's just pages for stuff without having it cluttering up over here. And I'm someone that just does 3 bars for mine abilities. Where am I going? There it is. Oh, I wonder if they're... Oh, sure then, yeah, I wonder if they're at the house. Let's see if we can spot a wild dipper before we move on. Oh, yeah, there she is. On the motorcycle, no less. Is that the new one? No, this one is not that one. I think this is the I think that's the Final Fantasy VII one. Oh yeah, here it is, Fenrir. And there's Draco. Alright, let's stop staring at Dipper and let her do her stuff, and I'll get back to work. Usually she is AFK anyway. Oh no, there's Ono. Slash wave. There it is. Alright, let's head to the new area. Oh, the crew's here. There's only 2 people here. Like I said, they're probably on just to help get Dipper geared up. Alright, warp to the Garlemald and see what's going on. Somber music already. Oh, there's Thancred and Urianger. There's Alisaie. It's been far too long. Well met, my friend. Now let's hearken to Alphinaud's words. And Alisaie is buried somewhere here. There she is. Thank you for coming on short notice. Glad you're here. All right, trigger. Ah, Azine, you made it in time. Cutscene.
You picked a frosty spot for a reunion.
Tataru sent word that you were coming. Full glad am I to see you all. Though I'm afraid this is no time for pleasantries. Planar fissures have opened up across Garlemald, inundating the region with void scent. As far as we can ascertain, there are 2 focal points of their assault. The Ilzabard contingent are combating the threat in Lapis Manalis. Although they have suffered casualties, they appear to have the upper hand.
As well they should. The many talented Uldan thaumaturges among them should be more than capable of closing any fissures they encounter.
Which leaves the second focal point, the Clutium. Eulus and the Garlean community are attempting to mount a counterattack, but are struggling to cope with the sheer number of Voidsent. They've fallen back to the north of the Imperial Palace. Can you lend your aid in securing the area?
With your blessing, I would tend to the wounded returning from battle.
Of course, Kryl. Thank you. The quickest route from here to the front is via the train tracks. Once we arrive, we can support the Garlean forces as we make for the fissure in the munitions factory.
Oh, this is a dungeon. Dang, got one already. Let's see what the gear level is. Average item level 750. Oh, it's... So my healer is good enough, so I can at least heal through this. You will go with NPCs.
My turn. I stand ever ready.
Let's give it our all!
The Claytinium. Gotta hurry and save the remaining forces that are still alive. And avoid the building killing us. I also need to remember how to heal. What? I'm frozen.
If I may?
Good. That was a scary moment. I'm like, there's no way this game could freeze on this computer. Oh, Ingrid needs a touch up. Dang, the city was already in ruins and now it's being blown up more. So these guys are putting up a good fight. Where is their mechanical weaponry?
If I may?
There, I think that's one right there.
If I may?
No, Garlemon's a snowy nation. I think it's one of those places that snows 3/4 of the year with only 1 or 2 months without snow. From the lore. No, this is
If I may?
this is Heaven's Word area. Not Heaven's Word, brain catch up. Not Heaven's Word, this is Endwalker zones. Though this dungeon's new, the territory is you first see it in Endwalker. Here's the first boss.
You're a sight for sore eyes.
Really, so they think so too.
If I may?
Go, Julius, and you one random soldier. Yeah, imagine you saw most of Dawn Trail with Dipper stuff. And it's all in a new world. This is the tail end of the main series. So basically, A Realm Reborn to Endwalker is its own set of story, is its own big story. Multiple stories with one overall arching story. And Dawn Trail is the beginning of another, and this is more continuing it.
Appreciate the help. We'll handle things from here. Take care of the Fisher.
So you're getting some minor spoilers for future content, but no big context. Eye of the Scorpion. thing. It's like one of those eye demons on that he probably mutated onto a mech. Or he was experimented on. Yeah, I mean that's one of the good things is you'll be able to experience this all proper. You're not being spoiled the important bits. Oh, how long is this going? Freedom. This is the one thing I hate, is I can never tell. Just throw this at you. Well, on the plus side, you have until January to catch up so you can be with them in contact with us. The downside, you have like 600 hours to catch up, or to go through. That's 600 hours of story, I believe was the... I think that's just to Endwalker. I don't know if that includes Dawn Trail.
Allow me.
I don't believe so. I believe it's just... I'm not sure how the math goes for that. I think it's just the main story or anything scripted. So I think the only side missions are the side event stories that have like crossover or significant events are still available to you. Not really. Like once you get out of, where are you at right now? Are you still in Realm Reborn, or are you in one of the expansions yet? Yeah, Realm Reborn is the biggest slog. Once you're through there, it's going to speed up a bit. I always like to compare Final Fantasy to a roller coaster. Realm Reborn, you're still on the ride up the beginning up portion of it. And Heaven's Word is when you reach the top, and it's just, that's when everything goes crazy. So it's like I said, it's just a little, Realm Reborn's the slowest because of that. It's like, because it's this slow growing creep. Got it. Now, there's several things you can do, like if you can at least spare like maybe 30 minutes or an hour a day, I would say log on and do the arena match. Just do a random one, and that gives you half a level, and you can help boost your character's levels so you can get through content a bit faster. Like, two things you should plan on is with the main story, switch between two different classes to level, because some of the story events are class specific. They won't impede the main story, but if there's certain parts of the content you want to do, it locks it out too, because it's meant to be like, do this class, if you're this class, do this story. But if you want to experience all the story, you gotta have at least one in each one of each the 5 main specs for tank, healer, ranged, caster, and melee. But throughout the main story stuff, they offer so much XP, it's best to continuously swap each quest between at least 2, maybe 3 if you can push it off classes. But to counterbalance it, if you're behind on some levels, is the random roulette. I don't know if I can't pull it up here while I'm in the dungeon, but doing those random roulette dailies, the PvP one does half a level, and the story one does half a level. You can at least do those 2 a day. If you don't have time for anything else, that's at least 1 level a day no matter what. When I'm out of the dungeon, I'll show you which ones I'm talking about. I don't think I can load it while I'm in here. Load up the menu. Oh, Dipper has left the building. Either she finished or she timed out. No, timeouts are delayed for like half an hour.
My turn.
Like, there's a lot of side stories that are really enjoyable to do, or side quests that sometimes actually have story elements to them that explain stuff you might have missed. Yeah, some of the unlocked features are quests themselves that they don't specifically point out to you to do. Like, if you don't have the PvP one unlocked, oop, I'm not targeting the right character. That one's also like a quest you do. Like, you join one of the free companies and things like that.
I have you now.
Sometimes it can be annoying that you do a quest that you're not aware of to unlock certain things.
You're mine!
There!
Oh, treasure chest. And more spider demons.
You're mine!
Alright, time to slide down to the next boss. You're a big one. Ooh.
I have you now.
Not today.
Give me 1 sec. Oh crap, he hit me. See, it's a risk to follow the NPCs because they will run into danger before out of it. I don't really use markers on the map, so I'm not really sure how I can help you with that, with the way markers. I never had a reason to. Or maybe I have and I'm just not understanding what you're asking. Come on, die. Oh, thank goodness. I mean, most of the maps are pretty marked well, and whenever you do quests, they put markers on there to show you where the stuff is. I'm not sure if the markers on Realm Reborn's events are as detailed, but I do know they have a lot of detail in the expansions to help ensure you can push forward through stuff. Scrap Babyliss, what the? Scrap the gargoyles are using necks to pull themselves in since they can't pull their bodies. This is another thing. Gargoyles sometimes will use stone statues to arrive here since they can't pull their whole body through rifts. They just use scraps to build themselves when they got to this world.
If I may?
That makes sense. Like, I do know in Eorzea Realm Reborn, a lot of the areas are all over the place. And when you get into Heavensward and all that, it's just go left for this half of the expansion, then go right. And then here's a new zone that you go to for the in-betweens. It becomes very more streamlined after it. That's probably why, like I said, Realm Reborn is the slowest one. Like I said, it's the most work you'll probably have to do. Once you're out of a Realm Reborn and into Heavensward, it's going to be much, much easier and more enjoyable.
If I may?
Well, normally if you click on the quest, it'll show you the area that it's at. And normally it'll have some edge or something that shows here's the path you enter to get into this area for the first time. Like, I don't know if I can pull it up. Like, if you've never explored the area, when you zoom out, it'll show the connecting lines for the zones if you're not sure where certain things are on the map. You take care, dragon. Ooh, one of their ships. Looks like it's under construction or still intact. Well, if you're across the map, you should be able to teleport. The aetheryte stones. That's why they're all over the place. Come on now, you don't want to gain a reputation for getting lost like Depper does.
If I may? Master Manipulator Malpheus.
Welcome to my domain, mortals.
If I may?
Take form and serve. Carry out my will. Now for something different.
My turn.
I have you now.
Time to pull the string.
Oh, I hate that. This is the one big downside of using NPCs, is if you fall, it resets the entire fight.
Welcome to my domain, mortals. Take form and serve. Carry out my will. Now for something different.
Yeah, most of the fights you'll run into through Realm Reborn will be pretty straightforward. As you get closer to endgame of each expansion, or some of the in-between story events like this one that leads up to an expansion, we'll have some of the more dangerous fights. Oh crap.
Time to pull the string!
Once more then. If I may?
Like, in Realm Reborn, you're not like a hero or the main character technically. You're just a random adventurer that's getting caught up in some things that you're hired to do. That's why it feels a bit more of like a generic adventure. It technically doesn't make you don't technically become the quote-unquote main character until the end of like partway through Heaven's Ward, because it is sort of like people like to quote Alphinaud as the main character of it because he's the one trying to do the stuff and you're with him a lot of the time. Yeah, Realm Reborn is more of like establishing the world and events.
Something special for you.
So that's why it's a long slog, 'cause it's teaching you everything on how the world acts, how they all think, or how they all react to certain things. And then you start learning a bit more of like the bits and pieces or the truth behind it all as you get into the expansions. Oh crap. That was helpful. No, I'd rather you die. You didn't disappear. That is not a good sign.
I think that's all of them.
We need but seal the fissure to prevent further ingress.
It's over. I can only imagine the extent of the damage were it not for your aid. On behalf of the Garlean community, I thank you for all you've done for my people, for my home.
I don't think we should be talking like this with the guy still alive behind us.
I shall close the fissure post-haste.
Wait! If you do that, I will be trapped here.
You risked your life in vanquishing the creature. Would you at least let me bear the burden of deciding its fate? You want to go back? To the Void? Your kind have entered this realm before. Some seeking death that they might rejoin the life stream. But you would choose that dark, deathless place?
The wind is fresh and pure, untouched by darkness. Perhaps it won't be a blessing to meet my end in such a place. But I cannot let there depart with the Void. If only the winds would blow there, as they do here. I long to return, to see my home unsullied, as it once was.
We know that pain all too well. If that is your wish, you must forsake this aggression. Go back to the Void and devote yourself to its restoration. I have a friend, Zero, who hails from your home. She and her companions strive to bring light into the Void from another world blighted with imbalance. I hear their efforts have already met with some success. One day, they'll drive the darkness from the Void, I'm sure of it.
His form is imbued with the will of all those I have consumed. We shall return to our world and seek out this Zero. Then we shall see if there is truth in your words.
She won't disappoint you. That much I guarantee.
Yeah, most voice center are actually
Bravo!
suicidal
I think
or
Zero
depressed.
will approve.
Sometimes both.
Oh, Indeed, that was truly heartening to see.
And now we tease him.
Understanding begets fellowship, right? I thought I might lead by example.
Well then, shall we head back?
You should have asked why the fissures opened in the first place. Those are not easy to do, especially since they popped up everywhere. Okay, we're back out. So the duty finder and the duty roulette, the dailies, the main scenario, which you may not have access to yet, I'm not sure, since this includes story dungeons, and the frontline. Well, like the frontline's level 30, so you may not have access to that either. These two are scaled to your whatever level you are and give you half a level for each one for daily. So the front line should be 30. If you're already at, what'd you say, like 20, 28? You should be able to get the quest pretty soon if you haven't already. 26. But you should have access to some of these, like the leveling one. Make sure to do that at least daily, because you'll get bonuses for leveling. I don't think the leveling one does a lot compared to the other ones, but you can definitely do that, and then just start doing the frontline dailies, because that scales with your level, and that's a half a level each day alone doing that. Otherwise, the maps have plenty of markers and stuff on them, but if you ever encounter a map that has nothing on it, I would just still use the quest to bound to the map that you get, and then use it to zoom out, and you can see what's the connecting zone to it to figure out your way if you've not been there before. What do you mean change things to weeklies instead? Oh, this is another thing too. The Heavenly Trails, which you won't get until, I think, Heaven's Word. I think you might be able to grab it sooner. I am not too certain if it's possible, but this is a book that is, you do dungeons and stuff that it shows on here, and once you've gotten 9 stickers, you turn it in for half a level as well. So they offer a wide range of stuff to level, because as you know, you have multiple classes. For the main story alone, you should be able to power level 2 or 3 of them without much help, just by doing the main story. And then you can buffer the rest. I've heard that too, but I'm not sure, but that sort of changes won't happen until January. So that's something that we won't have to worry about figuring out until maybe not January, or whenever the 8.0 patch comes out. So whenever the 8.0 patch comes out is when those changes will implement, and we're just now got 7.5 today. They do they do the pre-expansion patch before, so we might not see 8.0 until Christmas, the changes. So that's stuff you don't have to worry about until probably the end of the year. Alright, let's finish this quest up. Reports have begun trickling in. By all accounts, the Ilzabar contingent is successful in containing their threat on their front. The void sent to attack in such numbers just as we were finding our feet. I dare us imagine the consequences had you not provide such timely aid. On behalf of my comrades, thank you all. This is Thancred, a grave pessimist. Something weighs heavy on Thancred's mind. Is it the fact that the Void Sent actually invaded us in mass and no one asked why?
The Ilzabar contingent have contained the threat on their front. Things appear to be under control for the time being. Though it remains unclear why the fissures opened up in the first place. According to Tataru, similar ruptures are occurring across the star.
One thing is clear, however. The phenomenon is not without pattern. The tendency for fissures to emerge is pronounced in regions deeply connected to the void. Places where the barrier between the two worlds is at its thinnest.
I fear there may be a place in far greater peril than Garlemald.
Another place has strong connections to the void. Maybe the Reaper Village? Or the Crystal Tower, maybe?
Though it hath since been sealed, you will recall there is a great void gate that we ourselves had cause to open.
Yes. I forgot about that one. That's a small patch detail, and we probably should have closed that after we opened it.
A gate which was instrumental in our bid to reunite Vritra with his sister and put an end to Golbez's dark plot.
But wait, we put on seal. Oh, they're smaller creatures. They can probably break through the seals. Yeah, it's a callback to the end of Realm Reborn. It's one of the after main story patches you'll experience. We sort of had to invade another realm, and we sort of cheated by creating our own void fissure. And I just realized now, he mentioned it, we didn't close that door. We just put a cover on it.
Oh gods. The moon.
Yeah, we have that big problem right now.
With our attention fixed upon planar fissures, I failed to consider this vulnerability. All other paths unto the void are but pinpricks in the veil compared to that great lunar rift.
But it has the sealing brand, so my hope is that it will be still being held shut.
And that rift might be yawning open as we speak. We'd better hurry.
Let us make for Bestway's Burrow. I dare say the Loporrits are well aware of current events.
We ought to have Kryl join us once she finishes tending to the wounded. I shall likewise contact Y'shtola. Her knowledge of the Moon's Void Gate is second to none.
A number of my fellow Garleans now call Mare Lamentorum home. Alphino, Alisaie, please see they come to no harm.
Oh yeah, I guess this is a spoiler for you, Tommy. We have a base on the moon.
We'll be back before you know it.
A quick word, if you will. I'm not sure whether you'll run into Zero during the course of all this, but if you do, would you give this to her? Emergency rations, in case of a protracted battle. Can't imagine she's eating all that well in the Void.
Aw, he made a bento for her.
She likes dumplings.
Your secret is safe with me. She may like dumplings, but she also loves curry with fatal spices. Welcome to our secret moon base. And space bunnies. Terrific. The space bunnies are doomsayers now. Are you dooming Way?
Given thy panicked state, I presume the Loporrits too are beset with void scent.
Oh, what sweet relief it is to see you all.
They have their own mech guards. They should have been able to. They should be able to hold out.
Yes, void scent, and lots of them. They suddenly came pouring forth from the crater.
I had dearly hoped to find my worries unfounded.
For some unknown reason, the Void Gate seems to have partially opened. Living Ray dashed off to activate the brands and halt the Fiend's invasion. But she hasn't come back, and we've since lost contact.
I suggest we make for the brands without delay.
Alright, I should be more battle-oriented. Welcome to the moon. And there's the giant hole we made. Oh, here we go. My valiant savior, I was so frightened I dare not move an elm. Oh, you're looking for Living Way? I saw her heading southwest towards the Drowning Brand. She had several slaughter bots in tow. So they did have their combat bots. But I worry they won't be enough for all the Void Scent. You'd better hurry. Yeah, she lost her guards. The brand looks... No, this brand is red. This brand is off. No, it's on. Red is on. Alright, Living Way, wake up.
Danger, of course. I knew you would realize our plight and rush to our rescue. Aetherius is likewise plagued with Void Scent. If only we'd prioritized further development of the Void Scent slaughter bots, we could have stemmed the tide ourselves.
I don't think these guys did very good.
Oh, what a tremendous demonstration that would have been! Irrefutable proof that I was mankind's staunchest ally and the greatest lubberate to ever live! I can practically taste the praise. Fortunately, I was able to activate the brands. Should any more Void Scent emerge from the gate, they ought to be confined to the crater. Unless, of course, the Void Gate begins to expand of its own accord, or some gargantuan monstrosity tries to barge through. I don't foresee any major problems.
Ah, dang it, Living Way.
Oh, nope. We're doomed.
There you are.
I left the data in Shale's capable hands and teleported here as soon as I heard. And ere you ask, I made sure to bring the key with me.
Then the real threat yet awaits us.
'Tis Golbez's domain beyond the Void Gate. I wonder how he and Zero are faring. By the 12.
that Azim?
The head in your way!
Let them go.
Now there are some familiar voices. And I have a convenient portal back.
What are you doing here?
My vacation was over.
Only you could be so carefree amidst all this. May as well make yourself useful. The gate's sheer size appears to have made it a tempting target.
Enuo, a dread void scent risen from the benighted depths of the ocean. They kept to the confines of their domain while Zeromus endured. No longer, it would seem. And once they had discovered a path to the Red Moon, they wasted no time in making the journey.
Leave the void scent nearby to us. You take care of Enuo. Facing this many foes calls for a more familiar approach.
Oh yeah, Reaper.
Voidsent can change their form at will. Both light and darkness are mine to wield.
Sweet. So like me, you can change your classes. But I can change mine to 12. You only 2. Got a long way to catch up to me.
Besides, what better to purge darkness from the void than darkness itself?
No, she does pull off the look better than I do.
face me, a mere mortal. Hast thou come in search of power, renown? I fight to end this world without end. All who stand before me shall fall.
Dang, that's jumped straight to a trial. That was kind of quick. Well, here's to hoping that being a healer, it really is a 5-minute queue. I think that there'd be... Where is... There we go. The unmaking. Sovereign of Not, and no.
All who dare oppose me shall quake before the silken dark.
Not a problem.
The Void's power is mine to wield. Perish. Be still. Accept your downfall.
Oh, they're being drawn in.
Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? The void consumes. Naught will endure. Neither past nor future. Only one certain remains. My triumph. You have no place here. Struggle futile.
I breach the darkness. Let the light guide you.
You must break free.
The underlings are no more. Now to deal with NOO.
Life and death rendered meaningless.
Light, protect us!
I will not yield my domain! Such is the power of the Void. void shall never cease to be. My power is absolute. The void's power is mine to wield. And thus did all boundaries cease to be. Behold the truth of this world! Accept your downfall. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still. Perish. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still.
Oh, I didn't make it.
And thus did all boundaries cease to be.
They either better survive. Nope.
The void's power is mine to wield. Perish. Behold the truth of this world!
Oh, almost survive it. Yeah. Most of us dead, but we still one-shot it.
They must be sealed away. I'm glad you came. We would have struggled to face Enuo alone. I presume you journeyed here to prevent more Voidsent from passing through the gate?
Kinda.
With Enuo defeated, there are none left in this realm who pose a serious threat. I dare say the problem is resolved.
I'm not sure. You noticing abnormalities lately?
Nothing comes to mind. Why'd you ask? So the breach wasn't limited to the Void Gate. For better or worse, precious little has changed in the 13th since Zeromus fell. Have you noticed anything unusual?
I know not the reason events have unfolded this way, but there is, perhaps, an explanation as to why the Void Gate and the fissures opened. Here, in my domain, even the slightest change is keenly felt. When the gate opened, I sensed not the workings of some external force. Rather, it felt as if the barrier between our worlds was weakening naturally, moment by moment, until the two came to meet.
And you think this weakening could be happening elsewhere?
"'Tis a possibility.
What of Radz-at-Han and Garlemald?
I don't know about Radz-at-Han, but I got something from Garlemald for you.
Eulus took mercy upon the interloper. Whether Voidsent or Garlean, we all share the same longing for home. Should we meet, I will gladly offer them aid. Please tell Eulus as much. Wait, how exactly did you get here? No mortal could traverse the Void Gate in its current state.
See, this is why I like Zero. She at least realizes, even after the fact, of the obvious. I wonder if they can't see that.
And this path of yours is still there. I cannot see it.
I figured as much. Yeah, they can't see the path.
Nor does it reveal itself to me. Perhaps the path serves only the key bearer.
So it is not a means to travel freely back and forth. A pity. I would have liked to see my friends again.
Now the opportunity to give Zero the partial. That key of yours intrigues me. Had my former self known of its existence, I might have sought different means to reach the source. Something for me. Still warm dumplings. That smell. Food, is it? As I recall, Julius speaking of the dumplings his mother used to make. Thank you for the partial. And the fond memories. There is more than enough to share with Golbez. Now that he forgoes the ether of others, I'm sure he'll appreciate the sustenance. I sometimes wonder what the Void would be like if culinary traditions flourished here once more. Would they be sufficient to break the cycle of mutual consumption? A heartening thought, if nothing else. So there's an actual legit doorway to the 13th, although the doorway's on the moon and not on the planet. Zero has something she wants to discuss with you. More dialogue. Oh, cheerful tone. So cheerful dialogue. Until our battle earlier, I hadn't called upon the darkness in some time. In truth, I find the light a better fit these days. Ever since you left, we've been roaming the void in search of individuals who would join our cause. Although we returned to the Red Moon after sensing Arrow's presence, rarely do we linger in a single location. However, if the interloper you spoke of does intend to seek me out, it might be wise to return to my domain. Why don't you join us? With Arrow defeated, the stores should be in no longer immediate danger. Oh, maybe we can see some of the planet. Good, we'll wait for you by the crater. I presume you remember traveling by Nourish. Once we reach the service, the creature will convey us to my domain. There's a teleporter situated between here and the center of the moon. I used to travel to the surface in days long past, though I seldom had need once my generals were in place. Ingram herself crafted the device that I might lay low the servant of light. Ironic that we now use this seek to restore the light to the void. Forgive my idle reminiscences. Once 'tis time we made our descent. Travel to Zero's domain via the teleporter. Well, our place is just as we left it. There are many in this domain who still fear me. I sure may here to avoid needless provocation. Though it's not always so, many who live here now chose to do so because they support the cause. Indeed, if our numbers continue to grow, we may require more territory. Thankfully, we're able to harness residual ether from Barracoda's domain. Those reserves enable me to expand the domain as the need arises. Oh yeah, because her territory crashed into hers, and we killed her. So free real estate. Right, we had best prepare for our potential guests. Join me in my abode when you're ready. That must be Golbez. I would gladly consume his ether if I stood the slightest chance of not being gobbled up first. He's a familiar one. I'm sure he's It could be interesting to talk to. Ever since she brought you to this domain, our numbers have swelled. We grow tired of conflict. Oh yeah, he remembers us. Let's see what he has to say. I waited eternity for Zeramos to save this world, but my faith was misplaced. In the end, it was Zero who brought us hope. She is the reason I keep coming here day after day. Yeah, she is the statue that you created on accident. You're not a talking voice, and leave me be. Yeah, that's right. You lost your leader and you're not happy about that. Zero is a meaning. Truly, Golbez is equal in every sense. How are you faring, mortal? I've been training my alter form just like Zero. I'll be the very essence of beauty, just you wait and see. None of them talking. Can I mount here? I can. Alright. Let's check and see. There's our terrified friend. Golbez is even stronger than Barachia was. I thought it best to keep out of his way. That said, Barachino tells me that Golbez isn't so frightening these days. Perhaps he absorbed the will of someone less terrifying. While I appear to have made a complete recovery after the ignominy of starving to death, maybe my fellow voice said can't be trusted. Oh yeah, this guy was so hungry he fell apart. And since Voidsent can't truly die, they're either devoured in their dead state or they reform it back to life. And this one did. No talkie. I thought there was a path there. Maybe it's behind the building. Oh, there's water here. No longer will I partake the ether of other beings, not even if I shrivel and starve. There's water. Was there water here before? Is this a sign of progress? I imagine you'll remember these. The transmitters we used to receive light from the first. Memory serves, they work by channeling excess ether left in the wake of the flood into the Crystal Tower. Using the tower's cross-rift travel capabilities, the light is then conveyed onto the 13th and into these devices. I have in mind to use them now, but they'll need to be set to an elevated location. Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. Go back up to the place I just was.
Upon activation, these transmitters will shine with light from beyond, sent courtesy of our ever-watchful friends. They will serve as beacons in the dark for those that would seek me out. Yeah, a beam of light through the void would get people's attention.
Immortal, no less. I did not expect to see you here.
I am Zero, and this is my domain. 'Tis a safe haven for those who abhor conflict. Among those gathered here, many aspire to restore this world to how it once was.
Such a thing is possible.
Indeed. Though how long the endeavor will take, I cannot say. But for those of us abandoned by death itself, what do we have but time to try, and try again?
Very well. This light is ample proof your comrade spoke true. However long it takes to restore our world, you shall have my aid.
I mean, to be fair, this guy's a good builder, so he'd be pretty useful.
And you shall have mine.
It would seem Julius's intervention helped forge a new bond. Thank you for bringing word to me. I gather you'll head home sooner rather than later. Not yet. So let me see if he's hanging around real quick. Before I leave. There he is. First, let's see if Golbez has anything new to say. That bright beam, though it is but a drop in the ocean, I'm sure its radiance dispelled the darkness within some few void scent. Yeah, most of them say the same thing, so let's go. Check his new, see what he says. Perhaps I should use my abilities to assemble a dwelling within this domain. Yeah, he is an architect. Then let us return to the Red Moon. I'm sure you wouldn't begrudge me a proper farewell.
Would you deliver a message to Eulus for me? Tell him that we're making progress towards rebuilding our home. And I hope that he is too.
Enuo's Memoria will be safe here. The crystal containing Zeromus has been passed on to our allies in the First. If Enuo's Memoria might serve them in restoring their world, we shall likewise consider its transfer.
How much simpler it would be to aid one another in our respective fights, were it not for these boundaries between us. Safe travels, my friend. We take comfort in the knowledge that you're out there fighting too, wherever you may be.
I wonder if that's what their expansion's going to be. Instead of the worlds being pooled, forced together, we were making stable paths between them all.
No luck, I'm afraid. It appears he's not in Mare Lamentorum.
Oh, and they have no clue what happened to me.
Wait. Is that...
God, you had us worried. You suddenly disappeared. We didn't know what to think.
They probably didn't see the door either.
Shortly after you vanished, the Void-sent incursion abruptly ended. We surmised you had a hand in that, but never did it cross our minds that you were fighting alongside Zero and Golbez.
This golden path you said you traversed wasn't visible to us either. Nor did we hear a voice. Ethos. Might this be the key's true name?
While many mysteries remain, for now, I am glad to learn the state of affairs in the 13th. Golbez's suspicion that the barrier twixt worlds has begun to weaken. 'Twould certainly explain the surge in fissures manifesting in the source.
Yet what could be behind such a phenomenon?
And who might you be? Not a Void-sent, I'd wager.
Greetings. I am Helmerut of the Ascians. We are your sworn foes, I know. But on this occasion, will you not put away your arms? I wish only to talk. Thank you for affording me a chance.
Bereft of the Unsundered, we were under the impression you and yours no longer had cause to continue your activities. That you should reveal yourself at this juncture. I assume you are the one who bestowed Calyx with the knowledge of summoning and the reflections.
Yes, that is correct.
Was it necessary to reveal my present form as well?
Calyx. So he succeeded in transferring his memories after all.
Be at ease. Even were I to occupy a combat-oriented vessel, I would not have the ability to defeat you. You destroyed my plan, my life's work. I have naught to replace it, nor will I ever regain what I once had.
If you wish to speak, Halmarut, will you not tell us what it is that you hope to accomplish?
As you know, our star Aetheris was sundered into 4 and 10 shards in the time of the Ancients. As the will of the star, Hydaelyn perpetuated this unnatural division for millennia. And in the wake of her passing, nature has begun to reassert itself. As a wound knits itself together, the star seeks to become whole once more. Yes, it seeks to rejoin with all of its shards. Unlike the one we Ascians attempted to orchestrate, however, the star's rejoining will afford mankind no special treatment. All life and matter will be condensed into a single whole and remade for a new beginning. A complete rebirth. Aetheris will return to the way it once was. Hundreds of millions of years past. To a quiet and peaceful time. Long before the light of mankind was kindled.
Supposing for a moment we believe you, how can you possibly know all this?
It is an inevitability that I have foreseen since time immemorial. A future that awaits should creation be freed from the influence of Hydaelyn and Zodiark. The star is tolerant to life. It holds no grudges, and neither rages nor weeps for being sundered. Yet by the same token, it is indifferent to life's survival. No amount of devastation and death can compel it to stop the wheels of creation from turning. The earth shakes, and mountains spew fire. Floods wash away the fruits of labor, and icy winds freeze and starve. Countless perish as nature runs its course. So many seeds of life have already been lost, yet in spite of this, people continue to believe that the morrow will come. But it will not. For nothing lies beyond the solstice, when all creation is reunited. When that day comes, every last trace of mankind shall be erased. I cherish man's journey. Despite losing his innocence and being made to live with suffering, he has forged ever onward. Strong, even as he is weak, his is a proud tale in the history of the star. It would be a shame for that tale to end. For all to wither and die, when some might yet survive. Would you not agree?
If a natural rejoining doth lead unto the solstice, then thine intent is to preemptively rejoin the worlds.
Correct. It was for this very purpose that Halmarut recruited suitable collaborators from the Reflections. Individuals like me, who would willingly doom another world in order to fulfill their aspirations. The Winterers, we are called. And if you and yours seek to protect all life, then sooner or later you shall have to contend with us.
Even if everything you claim is true? What you've done, Calyx, it's unforgivable!
I do not ask that you be pragmatic, nor do I seek your approval. Given your familiarity with other Reflections, 'tis only natural that you are averse to our methods. But there is one irrefutable fact that you must understand. Should we take no action at all, the solstice will come, and no one will be left alive. No one. Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the Reflections as you deem fit. Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
So to say that's Xenos' scythe.
Wait!
Darn, I was hoping I get to keep that. The Ascians once labored to resurrect Zodiark and bring those who rendered up their lives to summon him, bring back. For the sake of those who now live, we fought tirelessly to oppose them. If Harmut does truly seek to rejoin to avert the solstice, to ensure some survive, when otherwise all would perish, then our interests are not so desperate. Trust Ascians be plotting something utterly reprehensible. Though I am tempted to dismiss a preemptive rejoin as utterly absurd solution, her words should not be taken lightly. Alpha knows nothing to say. Mo can be speaking the truth, can't she? You have to forgive me, I'm still coming to terms with it all. To think that individuals like Calyx Ilk or worse exist in other shards. There you are. The moment you were standing before me, and next you'd vanished in thin air. Thanks to you all, the voids have been eradicated, and the gate lies sealed once more. Neria, peep from the crater. Though I can't help but notice none of you seem to share my enthusiasm. Is something wrong? There's a lot wrong. As always. The star seeks to become whole, but that's preposterous. As far as I'm aware, Hylia made no mention of a natural rejoining. I have to consult the records to be certain. But not before thanking you for dispatching the void scent so handily. You well and truly saved the day. Oh. Come on. There we go. Alphinaud continues to grapple with Halmarot's disclosure. The implications of the solstice and the winter schemes, as well as our approach moving forward, will take time to consider. To that end, I believe we should gather and speak in person. And by we, I mean all our fellow Scions. For a change of pace, why don't we convene at the Rising Stones? I'm sure Totaro and the others will be happy to meet us there. A fine idea. In many ways, our return is long overdue. No doubt, we could all use some respite out of Garlemald, but I trust there are no objections. To settle then, to the Rising Stone. Back to our old stomping grounds. I am going to change my look again. Forgot to get out my Reaper outfit, or my healer outfit. I need to make sure my glamps are ready by the expansion. No one else is here yet. There was much and more to take care of in Garlemald, even after tending to the wounded. I shall ensure a full report with Ojaka. Feels like a lifetime ago when I set foot in these walls, though given all we experienced, a lifetime's worth of triumphs and tribulations, and in the interim perhaps it's only natural. It is a pity my stay in Toril came to an abrupt end. I should like to make arrangements to remain in touch with Shale. Since leaving for Toril, we've been almost certainly and constantly on the move. It feels good to put my feet on familiar stomping grounds. In spite of times something's endure. This sanctuary is surely among them. Times like this, the company of friends is all the more precious. Nary a change since we last gathered here. No doubt Totaro is chiefly responsible for prevailing in the state of tidiness. Speaking of whom, she and a great many of our comrades are en route. Let us wait for them a little longer.
Long it hath been since last we gathered here. Though our Order's dissolution was indeed in name only, thereafter, we did largely operate independent of one another. All of which is to say, full glad am I to stand in such esteemed company once more.
Apologies for our delay. We're reporting for duty, as bid.
This is everyone that we could round up on short notice. The others are still en route. Estinian alone we weren't able to make contact with, but we're working on it.
Estinian still into Toril, probably.
No doubt his link pearl is buried at the bottom of his bag.
Knowing him, he'll turn up when we least expect it.
Now, as much as I'd like to savor our reunion, Tataru tells us there have been developments.
Only some minor, small ones. Nothing to worry about.
Will you apprise us of the details? The Winterers and the Solstice.
The veracity of Halmarut's claims remains unclear. Yet it cannot be denied that, in his bid to convert the living into endless, Calyx was privy to knowledge of the reflections and more.
And the Winterers are formed of others. Like him.
In light of the recent Voidsent incursions, I believe it would be wise to treat the Solstice as a genuine threat. The problem is how to deal with it.
Both the Source and the Reflections are home to irreplaceable life. I would protect them all if I could. But if doing so means ushering in complete annihilation... then what can we possibly do?
I wonder, was Hydaelyn aware of the solstice?
Given that we had no knowledge of it when you journeyed to Elpis, you couldn't have warned Venar. So it is entirely possible she was unaware. But in the course of sustaining the Sundered Star, she may have glimpsed this eventuality. So she believed that we could overcome this trial as well. Or rather, that the choice was ours to make.
Whichever it may be, it is we who must find the answer. We who live in the here and now.
Perhaps we could take a recess? Oh, I dare say everyone could use a rest.
Indeed. We have ample food for thought, and it would be good to catch each other up.
Ere I forget, Heron, I believe you should keep the key, Ethos, in your possession. After all, it seems that is one mystery I am not destined to unravel.
As much as you wish you could. Alright, let's talk with the gang. I helped repel the voice incursion in Lapis Minutes. Fighting off fiend-controlled Galante is something I won't rush to relive, but it was nonetheless good training. This latest development is indeed shocked, but I'm heartened to see not a single face clouded with despair. Oriboiler, my man. Colton and I remained in Corvus to monitor the situation among the Garleans in Corvus High. Though the seldom smooth sailing, in time the region settled and we were able to return. I understand the Garlean community has made great stride in improving relations with other people. Hearing that, I feel renewed zeal for resolving the issues in Corvus. Then perhaps you'd like to hear more about the Guardians' accomplishments from me and the twins. It might stroke that fire even hotter. Alright. Alice, don't worry about me, I'm sure you have plenty to discuss with these old faces. Taru. Seems our colleagues have much to catch up with each other on. I shall have to brew some tea. There's no one over here. Check. Nope. Graha. Even after discussing revelations concerning Calyx, there's a great deal to share. It is difficult to know where to begin. Hearing our comrades' tales reminds me of my own efforts to master Pictomancy. We've all come so far, striven so hard. Orker Boulder, Aaron and I were training Gridania when Voice attacked the Twelveswood. Thankfully, we were able to fend them off with the help of the Twin Adders. When I heard the invasion had already spread across the star, I realized the gravity of the situation and ordered a confidential report sent to other Scions. That's why Tartaros was so quickly embraced. Thanks to you, we were able to make haste for Garlemald. While circumstances and duty may keep us apart, we remain bound by common purpose. Indeed, may that purpose continue to guide us now that we stand together once again. Ladies. The brothers are united, yet a distance between them now persists. How cruel fate to force me to choose. You are still thirsty as ever. Oh, Anor, we hoped you'd come to your senses, but I see you're still in the throes of withdrawal. Y'shtola. Judging by your guise, Clemens, your studies must have been productive. Indeed, I have more or less mastered the fundamental principles of Sharlayan astrology. At one point I considered exploring other healing arts, but decided to persevere with more focused training on better leverage my skills on the battlefield. I don't think I'd be much use in the battlefield these days. I scarcely hold my bow steady, let alone hit a target, so sorely bereft of brotherly ministrations as I am. I knew you'd still require constant supervision. You two haven't changed the slightest. It makes me wonder how our colleagues that couldn't join us today are faring. If I remember correctly, these two are sisters. Arianje? Tataru has ever been the constant facilitator. Grateful am I to refrain from weighty discussions and simple converse with old friends. Thancred. After Urianger and I went off on our own, we decided to spend some time exploring Yak'Torel. We never had the chance to visit during the Rite of Succession, you see. We journeyed east through Lazalenta before heading up the coast to the frigid north reaches, where they revere a storied beast of the sea. I am losing my ability to talk. It must be getting late. The excursion only served to reinforce how diverse Toril really is. We also met with the Wequai, though we had not the time to study their arts at length. I think these are the blue mages. We are privy to several intriguing demonstrations, but that we could have indulged our curiosity further and traveled to yet more distant lands. For better or for worse, pragmatism tempered our wanderlust. Suffice to say, we still have plenty of time to see the continent. I should very like much to return given the chance. Alright, Alphinaud, last up. It was by no means an easy discussion, but as the solstice is now our paramount concern, Ase and I have opted to formally withdraw from our efforts on Garlemald. After all, anything we can do to protect our world will also serve to keep the Garleans safe. Julius and his comrades are already working hard towards a brighter future of their own accord. Honestly, I'm more worried about us. It's so difficult to see the path ahead. But hopefully we can get through this and return to Garlemald with our heads held up high one day. Indeed, in the meantime, let us prepare a letter for Julius and the community. We mustn't let despair stay our hand. Daru. It seems everyone has much and more to discuss with one another. Anyway, you're long overdue for a proper break. The peace and quiet will help you think. Feel free to make yourself comfortable in Dawn's respite.
Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the reflections as you deem fit. Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
I detest evenings such as this. Too bright, too stimulating. The mind distracted by the inconsequential. You needn't be so wary. I merely come to offer information before my departure. Halmarut and I will soon cross the rift to observe the enactment of another Winter's plan. Our destination is the Fourth. A world locked in ice, whose lands are blanketed in thick clouds. In order to survive, man has fled to the skies, using great magics to establish new civilizations. I have my own designs I would see realized. Nothing more. Believe me or don't, as you like. For all I know, you lack the means to follow us anyway. What Halmarut said to you earlier. She suggested that dealing with the reflections might satisfy your ambition. But is that truly so? You have seen battles beyond counting, have defeated even the fear of death. Is there some conclusion that you seek, no matter the cost? I will share with you a truth. We Winterers each have an ambition that we wish to fulfill. To that end, we may share information with one another, but we do not necessarily share the same beliefs. Just as you and yours decried my actions, I find those of my fellows objectionable. Be that as it may, it is the culmination of our lives' works that we would bring to the world, fruits born of undying devotion, daring aspiration, and unwavering ideals. No matter how we are reviled, no matter what we must steal, our actions will be vindicated by those who abide in the future we create. In your benevolence, you may seek to save everything and everyone. But once all is consequently consigned to oblivion, your noble deeds will amount to nothing more than folly. For no living soul shall remain to judge them.
If shattered stars are doomed to mend, how turns the key to winter's end? And that's it. That is the main story of this patch. There is side content, other events, and other stuff that's currently available or will be available as the weeks go on. But that's the main story. That took 3 hours. 3 to 4 hours is about average for a patch story. So this will be a good stopping point. It's good to be back doing this stuff, and it's also a reminder I need to get back doing this stuff, since I have until January for the new expansion, so I gotta get the last of my classes leveled. There's still 7 to go, and Beastmaster comes out soon. I don't know if it's out now yet or if it's a few weeks. That I do not. I mean, I can check right now. Control find. Oh, no, Beastmaster is not out yet. It's going to be later on. So, this will be it for now. I don't know if I'm going to stream side content yet, but I might. I need to see what all there is to do. There is I think the trial comes out next week. Let me check. Nope, not the dude I want. That one. Yeah, the third walk should be sometime soon. But this has been a good run, good night to do this stuff. I'm glad I managed to do it. It's a new title, Trailblazer. I like my gear of change. That's my favorite title. Alright, I'll end it here. Don't think anyone... I didn't see any notices for anyone being on. Let me check real fast. No. Alright, I'll end it here. You all take care. Hope you all enjoyed seeing the 7.5 main story. And I'll see you all next time.